Hello, everyone. I'm Gary Summers, and welcome to the audio edition of Mind, Body, Soul. I have a great guest with me today, Nadine Emberley, who's going to talk about Reiki. Welcome, Nadine.
Thank you, Gary. It's nice to be here, and thank you for hosting.
Excellent, great. So, again, this is just a part of my series where I like to introduce people to holistic uh, people in the holistic business. Many times people have no idea that you people exist, what you do, how you can help, and so that's what that's what this is all about. So, uh, just explain to people how you got introduced to Reiki.
Well, it happened in 2006 originally. I was living out in Calgary, and one of my coworkers on a field trip just explained one of her sessions. And I had no previous background. I didn't have any spirituality. I didn't have any religion or anything like that, but I was quite intrigued. Um, but the real shift happened after my father passed away. So his passing really did put me on my spiritual path and made me question why we're here, what we're doing, what's our soul's purpose, what are we doing here on earth. And so I thought of that conversation again, and I looked it up in Calgary, and so I signed myself up for a course. And that's how I originally, it fell in my lap, honestly.
I'm sure many people have heard the term Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if too many people know exactly what it is.
Yes.
So can you kind of give us a brief overview of exactly what Reiki is?
Sure. So Reiki is quite a young modality, I guess. I mean, natural energy healing has always been around for thousands of years. And it's in all the different cultures. But Usui Reiki was founded in the 1920s by Mikao Usui. He's a Japanese man. He was always spiritual. He was always a Buddhist monk. And he really did become enlightened one day on a fasting retreat. And he was, I guess, downloaded with information of how to pass Reiki on and how to heal others with it. And so he went about really attuning people to Reiki so that they can work with other people. And when you bring it back and look at what Reiki is, if you break it apart in Japanese terms, it means universal and life energy. So Rei is universal and Ki is life energy. So Reiki is universal life energy. Now, us as human beings and all the plants and animals around us all have life energy. That's what makes us move. That's what makes us tick. And that's what makes us grow and survive. So universal life energy is all the energy that's around us. And so as a Reiki practitioner, what I'm doing is opening myself up to all the energy that's around me and allowing it to flow through me and into another person or into myself if I'm giving myself my own self-healing. So that's, in a nutshell, what Reiki is. It's opening yourself up to universal life energy so that you're shifting your own energy to a higher vibration and removing all of the low vibration that might be around your aura, around your energy field.
I read a book some time ago. Bruce Lipton wrote it called The Biology of Belief. And he says, it's a really interesting book. He says, it's not our beliefs. He said, it's not our heredity. I'm sorry, he said, it's not our heredity, it's not our environment that carve our destiny, it's our beliefs. And he says we're all electrons floating in all photons floating in an electromechanical field, and sometimes we get out of balance. So before I ask you to just explain a typical Reiki session, what are some of the more common reasons why people would go to you to seek Reiki treatment? What would be some of the symptoms that people, where you would say, oh yeah, like we could help you here with a couple of sessions of Reiki?
Yeah, so Reiki can be used for a lot of things. So when Reiki is considered to be a holistic practice, and what that means is really it's shifting the whole body as a whole, not just one particular item or not one particular issue. Or so if you have a knee issue, then Reiki can actually help you shift the whole energy field around that to what was the original cause of it. So it could have been emotional trauma from your childhood. Say you were bullied as a child and you took on that energy and it's really holding you back, and it manifested itself in your knee. So Reiki is really adjusting and balancing your whole energy field as a whole. And a person can, it can be anything from a physical issue to emotional issues. If you have depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, if you have chronic illnesses like diabetes or cancer, all those issues can, I'm not going to say be healed, but can lessen the effects of those issues.
So
I would never diagnose, and I would never, ever suggest not seeing a doctor.
Sure.
I definitely would never go there.
Sure. So it's really about opening yourself up to the possibility that a solution exists out there, and Reiki could be one of those solutions for you.
Definitely.
Okay.
So if you're always stressed out about work, say, then Reiki can help you remove the stress so that you can start to process through and adjust and realign your energy field to a healthier energy so that you can work through those issues with a much more clarity and focus.
So give us a typical Reiki session. How long is it? What happens from start to finish?
So an in-person session and a distance session, they look completely different, but they actually have the same results. And so what happens, let's just say in in-person, a client can come in and we'll do, an introduction. You want to get used to them. You want to get to know them. You want to know what their issues are. But they're fully clothed the whole time, and they lie on a massage table, softly lit room, soft music playing, and Reiki's really putting you into a deep relaxation. Now, I have to honor the clients as well. So some clients are really open and they really want to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. So I can talk through a session and what's coming up, where I'm working, what I'm feeling, what I'm seeing, because as a Reiki practitioner, I'm also intuitive. Mm-hmm. So I can get images in my mind of what something or this issue might be attached to. So we can talk through a session as we go, but some people are really coming in for that deep relaxation that Reiki promotes. So they just want to honor that space and allow that time to really adjust in peace and quiet. And I honor that as well. So they can come in 40, 45 minutes on a table and they're completely relaxed when they get up off the table. So that's an in-person session.
Okay. Go ahead.
Deep relaxation.
And you can do it distance as well, hey?
Yeah. So many people are not aware of that. Mm-hmm. As a distance session, all I need is the person's name and your intention that you want to receive Reiki. From my side, I open space in my mind and I state that this is for my client and allow it to be for their greatest good. And when I allow universal life energy to flow through me, my full intention is given to this client, and that is where it's going. And so in my mind's eye, I'm actually picturing a silhouette of them lying on a table in front of me. So it's just like if they were in my space, I'm imagining them on my table now, and I'm holding space for them and sending them Reiki. And it's the same way then. I'll send out distant notes after a session, and we can chat on the phone at the same time, or we can, if they want to be more of the quiet client, then I'll reach out to them after with session notes, and then they can text or call me after.
Do any of your clients talk to you about what they experienced during a Reiki session? Do you see many epiphanies? Do you see change? Do you see gradual change, or is it something that bango can happen right away?
It's different for everybody. So I hold space. I'm always remaining humble to Reiki. It's really the client that really does the shifting. If they are open to receive and open to healing, they will be the ones that shift themselves. And I've had from one spectrum to the other side. I've had one client come in and totally do a full turnaround on the mindset, whereas had other people come in and they're just slowly healing, slowly progressing through their issues or their mindset or the ego thoughts. So it really depends on the client and how they shift in a session. So one example was, there was one man that came in on my table, and like all people, we all hum at the head. There's always, I wouldn't call it blocks, but everybody's thinking. Everybody's got that normal, let's just say day-to-day worries, right?
The Buddhists call it monkey brain.
I just call it ego thoughts.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We're all there, right?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
We're all human. We all go through those things.
I think that's one of the things that you said, we are all human.
Yeah, totally.
And to be able to have someone who can take that negative energy that you have and just get you to take that energy and put it in a different place, it can be life-changing for people, because I truly believe that all of us at some point in our lives need help. Like that's not a sign of weakness, that's a sign of strength. And when you can reach out to someone and say, I need a little bit of help here now, and all you're basically doing is teaching them to get in touch with the resources that they already have inside themselves. They just don't know how to do it.
Exactly.
Right? They don't know how to relax. They don't know how to change their negative thinking. All they know is that they're at the bottom of a big hole, and they don't know how they got there, or more importantly, how to even get out of it. So that's why. So anyway.
Yes. I mean, ego, the more you listen to ego, the more powerful it gets, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so Reiki really does help you to relax and get out of that ego space for even 40 minutes, 45 minutes, so that you can start the process, right? You can start to come out of that hole and start to adjust. I had one client come to me. He felt the prime of his life. There was absolutely nothing I was picking up except for the normal stuff around the head, until I got to his ankle, and it was like sludge. I didn't know what it was about. I couldn't get anything on it. So I just held space and shifted that energy away from his ankle and filled it up with universal life energy. That is a high vibrational energy. And it wasn't until a couple of days later when he emailed me back and said, "What happened? My mind has changed. It did a full 180-degree turn." He came from a place of almost foreclosing on his business, and he didn't know how to get out of it. And then he went to work that following Monday and was like, everything clicked. He knew how to do the checkoff list that he had, and he could process through it and get moving again, and he saved his business because of it. So it really depends on the client and what they get from it and how open they are to receive.
How I would assume, and I'll ask you, the more resistant someone is, obviously, the longer it's going to take.
Yep.
Do you have to believe?
There has to be an element of trust. You have to believe that the bigger shifts happen when people believe. But you don't have to. I've had first times come that were totally skeptical to the whole process and get up off the table and feel amazing. So Reiki will do whatever it needs to do at the time to help a person along their path. But they also, as clients, you can block. You can totally come into a situation and say, "I'm not ready to heal from this," and Reiki won't even go near it, because we all have free will. And so, yes.
Yeah, I experience the same thing with hypnosis, both in my therapy as well as when I do the entertainment stuff. And I always say to people, if you're interested in a challenge, then you're better off staying in your seat. But if you believe and you expect, then a miracle's can happen for you. And I think those are the two big important words that you said, right? Believe and expect. Because
Yeah.
because when I talk to people, when I see people, it's about, just have an open mind, like you said, like just be willing to receive, and if you believe that this is a big important step in your life, and you expect that this is going to change your
Mhm.
life, there's a really, really good chance that this Reiki session is going to change your life.
Exactly. It's all comes down to mindset and your intention. Are you ready to work through your stuff? Are you ready to lift yourself out of that hole? Um, so the client has full control.
So
I'm just a channel.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I say to people. I say, I know how to get you from one level down to the next level. I know how to get you there, but you actually are the one that has to do the work, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Oh my God, did the ever?
So when you can't feel, when you do an in-person session, you can feel it because you're close to the person. But in a
Yes.
distance session, how do you shift from that in-person feeling to, I guess you have to go through and totally auditory on what he and the tone of his voice, what he's saying, the words he uses. So you shift from a feeling sense to an auditory sense. Is that close to being right?
I would say it's almost the opposite, Gary.
Really?
Yeah. So as a distance session for myself, it feels exactly the same.
Sure. Yeah.
Because in my mind's eye, our minds are powerful tools. So in my mind's eye, I'm still holding space on a massage table for this person. I've got the silhouette of the person and I'm holding space. And so it's all just energy. So for my side, it feels exactly the same. From the client side, I've received numerous feedback that it feels exactly the same
Wow.
if they're willing to be in the space with me.
Do
So if
they?
they're comfortable and not distracted by what's going on in their
Sure.
house,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They feel the same sensations as if they were in person.
Do they lie
They
down?
That's totally up to them. I
Okay.
always say either get in a yoga pose or lie down or sit in a comfortable chair, just to be consciously awake
Yeah.
and intention set. So you don't want them to fall asleep, because then they'll
Sure.
just feel like they fell asleep,
Absolutely.
even though
Absolutely.
Reiki can still work.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
they will get more from a session if they're actually consciously awake and their intentions are set to heal.
I always get the same question when people ask me about hypnosis is, do you need any special skills to learn this?
No,
Are you a special
that
person?
I'm not a special
Do
person.
you conduct witchcraft?
No.
Well, you get all those. Well, you get it from skeptical people, right? Who,
Oh my God, yeah.
because I've had all that asked to me, and all we're really, I guess, all we're doing is tapping into the incredible ability of someone's mind to be able to do incredible things. So you
Yes.
don't need any special skills, obviously. You just want to be able to help people.
Yes. And you know what? You don't have to do Reiki for another person. If you don't feel like you want to take clients, you can still do Reiki as a modality to help heal yourself,
Right. So it can be
right?
self-healing.
Totally,
Sure.
100%.
Yeah.
If you're a yoga practitioner and you don't want to take clients in that capacity, you can still do Reiki and make it part of your morning routine, whatever that is, and bring in universal life energy to help adjust and align your balance and balance your energy for that day.
Right. So
So,
you set your intention for that day,
yeah.
and so is that one of the options you give to your clients to be able to teach them how to do this on an ongoing basis?
I can teach as a Reiki master. I have the ability to teach people, and I do teach in St. John's. With COVID just hitting the global scene, I've now started doing them online as well. Um, so anyone I've had teenagers do it that felt that was their path. I've had people in their 70s and 80s do it. So anybody that feels like they need something extra to help them along in life and along in their journey, in their healing journey, they can take a course from me. Now there's other people as well that and online that they can tap into as well.
Okay. Nadine, can you leave our listeners with something that they can use today, as a little tidbit, a
Yes.
bit of advice that can be something that they can help them along their path?
I would say start to ground yourself. That is the biggest thing that many people don't do in life. Once a day, when you wake up in the morning, ground yourself, ground your energy so that you're not frazzled. And what I mean by grounding is it can take different forms, but for me and how I ground every day and to ground my energy so that I'm not invaded by everyone else's energy around me is to close my mind, imagine your life energy going down through your legs, down through your feet, and grounding deep, deep, deep into Mother Earth, and let it branch out like tree roots. And then pause and allow Mother Earth then to bring her energy right back up your tree roots and mix with your own energy. And just give that space for maybe even 30 seconds a day. It doesn't take long to ground your energy, but it has a big impact on you. You're not picking up everyone else's stuff in the day.
So have a good listen, everybody. You can replay this past 30 seconds back and start every single day with some great advice from Nadine Emberley. And Nadine, as people listen to this, all your contact information, your bio, how to get in touch with you is there on the screen. Really, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to let people be aware that you exist and that you're there to help, and that you've actually witnessed some incredible miracles on this journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you, Gary. Thank you so much.